Hi guys, welcome to Career Talk, where we talk about the highs and lows in your career journey. Joining me today is Tobi Ekundayo, a senior data engineer at AIB. He will be taking us through his journey. You know, Toby, can you please introduce yourself?
Hi guys, my name is Tobi Ekundayo, and I'm a senior data engineer with AIB, Allied Irish Banks, here in Ireland. And I've been a data engineer for 5 years. I have vast experience in data science and information technology as a whole for 10 years. So yeah, I'm really excited to be on this career talk, Coyote. Really looking forward to what we're going to discuss. And yeah,
Yeah,
that's about it.
thank you so much, Toby. I'm really excited myself. And but before we dive into the questions for today, I would love us to have some icebreakers so we
Oh
can
yeah, sure,
loosen up on all of these good things.
sure,
So
sure.
first thing is coffee or tea.
Oh, tea. I'm a tea person.
Why tea?
So I'm a very hyperactive individual,
Uh-huh.
right? And coffee would like stimulate your senses to be at alert, to be awake, and I don't need that extra stuff in my body. So I've always preferred tea. Tea is usually relaxing. So
Oh yeah, that's
take a
true.
lot of ginseng, green, berry,
Hmm.
lemon, ginger. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm a tea guy. I have a collection of tea.
Oh really?
Yeah, my yeah.
I love coffee
Oh,
because
okay.
sometimes I just need that extra energy. So
No.
I like coffee.
I'm 100% energy.
Uh,
100%.
all right. So the next question here is: what is one surprising thing about you
Mhm.
that is not on your CV?
That's not on my CV.
Yeah, something from.
I'm a diehard basketball fan.
Yeah, yeah,
That's not
I
my
noticed because
CV.
on your WhatsApp status
Yeah.
every morning I think I see basketball.
Yeah. Every morning during the NBA season.
Oh yeah,
When it's the
okay.
NBA season, of course, I don't have anything to post. But yeah, I'm a diehard basketball fan, but that's not on my CV.
Yeah, that's
So yeah.
good. That's good to know.
Yeah.
And the next one is: what's your favorite room in your house? Your
My
favorite
bedroom.
room, the bedroom.
My
Okay.
bedroom.
I think a lot of people would go for bedroom. I think.
So yeah, that's because I stay up late,
Hmm.
so and watching the games late as well because of the time zone difference.
Oh, okay.
So I prefer to watch while I'm in bed because of course it's late and you're in that
Your
time where you
comfort.
need to sleep.
Okay, fair enough.
So
Fair
like
enough.
the bedroom would definitely be my favorite place to be,
Fair enough.
and I'm always wrapped up under the duvet, because
Yeah, it's
it's
cold. It's
cold in
cold.
Ireland. So yeah,
It's cold.
yeah,
Yeah, so okay, that's good. Then the next one is very simple.
okay.
Book or movie?
Movie
Movie,
for
yeah.
sure.
I
I'm
think
not I'm not a book guy.
yeah,
I'm not the reading type. I'm more of a visual
visual,
oriented.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So
good. That's good.
movies, like I have so many series that I binge watch. Like, yeah, I still
Okay.
watched the series last night, Iron Fist by Marvel. I don't know
Iron
if you've
Fist.
seen it.
No, I don't think I've seen
Yeah,
that.
it's a
I don't
new
think I've
one.
seen that. Oh,
So
that's
yeah.
good. Maybe I'll put that in my watch list.
Oh yeah, for sure,
Yeah.
for sure.
So the next one is: if you could time travel,
Mm.
would you rather see your first job or your current job?
If I could time travel,
Travel, would you rather see your first job or your current job?
my current job.
Current job. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the
Yeah, I
last.
think I like to fast forward to the end.
Oh,
That's
okay,
just
okay.
uh you might call it anxiety or anxiousness, but I just like to like, okay, let's just get to the end. Let's just get
Fair
to the
enough.
end.
Fair
So
enough.
I think I would like to see the future than the beginning.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay, that's good. That's good. At least you know what you're anticipating and how to
Yeah,
move
then I
forward.
know how to navigate.
Yeah. Okay,
You
fair
get.
enough. And the last question here is: if you could walk anywhere in the world,
Hmm.
where would it be?
So what
Anywhere in the
factors are
world.
we considering here? Because
Anywhere, like
that's
there's
so
anywhere in the world,
open-ended.
anywhere you are given the blank check to walk anywhere in the world, where would it be?
So it's just to work, it's not to chase after the money, it's just the work.
Just to work, just work. So you
Ah.
see example where companies where I work from home, and some companies
Mm-hmm.
allows you to work.
Definitely will be an island somewhere.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So during my break time, I just want to like go and dip my feet in, the water by the beach side, that kind of thing. And then once I'm done with work, I want to go and pull up some salsa move, drink
That's
some coconuts.
that
Yeah,
sounds that's
exactly. Yes, it definitely will be an island.
all right. That's good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and with friends around, So if I could have you and some
Mhm.
other guys live on the same island, that kind of thing, and then work from there. Yeah, that's the dream.
That's good. Thank you so much for that. So let's just dive into the questions we have for you today. So
Okay,
basically,
nice icebreaker.
yeah. So the first question on my list is: can you tell us about a defining moment where you knew data science is the right career for you?
Oh yeah. So that would be 2019.
Okay, what happened? How
2019.
what happened that day?
So um I was working at, I think it's okay for me to say the organization. I was working at Airtel,
Okay.
but I was actually with Nokia.
Oh,
So
okay.
we had projects to do with Airtel, right? So while I was on that job, it entailed me working with a lot of telecommunications data. So
Okay.
that was my first intro into the world of data science. At the time, it wasn't referred to as data science
Okay.
because it wasn't like really big in Nigeria. So this is Nigeria
Okay.
now,
Okay.
not Highland. So back then, we're doing a lot of things manually. Like I have to stay late till almost 12 before I go home. A lot of,
12 a.m.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes close 11 and I have to be back, because it's Lagos, traffic and all. You
Mm-hmm.
have to be back on the road by 5:30 a.m. max. Else,
That's serious.
you're going to be in traffic for 3 hours. Even leaving at 5 and getting to the road by 5:30, you'll still be on the road for 2 hours ish. So, but anyways, the kind of work I had to do had to do with optimization.
Mm-hmm.
So, network optimization. So, there were a lot of data generated. So a lot of transformations had to be done for reporting, for monitoring, and all of that. And one of my senior managers then just he spoke to me that I think you're very good with this data stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That you should look for more ways to get things done better. And that just kind of inspired me. I didn't know what data analytics
It
was.
was
I didn't
okay.
know what cybersecurity was. So when I spoke with one of my friends and he told me about, oh, masters and stuff in Highland,
Mm-hmm.
and he said, oh, there are three main courses at this institution where he finished from. There's cybersecurity, there's cloud computing, and then
And
there's
data
data
analytics.
analytics. I thought to myself, oh, somebody already encouraged me about data,
Yeah.
you know, that I'm quite good with this. He sees me as a very smart guy,
Mm-hmm.
brilliant with how I approached the work that was needed to be done. And then that just got me excited into like going for a master's in data analytics. And long story short, that brought me to where I am today. But yeah, that was my first intro into data.
Oh, that's good. That also like kind of answered how your first job uh shaped your view or shaped how you got into your current
Oh yeah,
data analytics
yeah.
role.
And also I like to be very organized.
Hmm.
I'm highly organized. So, and a lot of data comes in an unorganized state.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So that's where I flourish at, trying to make
Put
the
everything
unorganized
in order.
organized.
Fair
So,
enough.
and then just having that foresight, what is it that they want with this?
Hmm.
What do they want to get from this?
Hmm.
Right. So that's where I'm able to apply my creativity to, okay, what kind of visual, again, also working with visualizations because there's a layer of data visualization with data science, right?
Okay.
And because that was the first time I had to like work with Excel full time.
Yeah.
Like trying to create charts, write different codes to like automate the charts,
Hmm.
with Excel macros, VB macros. So that just like got me into that space of creating something that would make sense for whoever needed the reports at the end or like needed the insights from that.
From that
So
data.
yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. And in your industry, right?
Mhm.
What is the best way? to stand out when applying for jobs?
Hmm. So there are two ways.
Okay.
You need a track record
Okay.
of
So,
something,
okay.
or you need
Okay.
experience.
So as a beginner, I don't know. I've not
As a
been in
beginner,
this.
you
I don't know.
definitely can have that 10 years experience they're
Yeah,
looking
obviously.
for,
Yeah.
right? So
So how do I?
one of the best ways is to have a portfolio. That's what I've always advised, like those that I mentor. Have a portfolio. That was what helped me.
Oh,
So
okay.
yes, I had the experience in terms of information technology, right?
Yeah.
But not experience with
In
data
data.
science itself,
Okay.
right? So how I was able to leverage on that was the projects I had done
In the past.
in the past, like just throughout the period of my masters. So I
Okay.
was able to like work on like 3 projects, I think.
All right.
Yeah, 3, 4 projects, and that was on my GitHub account
Oh, so
at the time.
you share that to
Yes, so and then I
more.
created a website off that GitHub. So
Okay.
the landing page was the website, and then that would take it to the GitHub. So
Okay.
that's like kind of highlighted all the
The
projects that
projects
I've
you've
done
worked on.
and the languages I used to do that. So whoever was trying to hire me at the time would have had a look at that because that was also on my CV,
CV. Okay.
you know.
So I have a
So they
better
would have gone through,
understanding.
okay, it's quite good with this language, or he has strong skill in this language.
Yeah.
And what did he use that language to do? This is the project, and then I have like illustration on how that project worked, or what I needed to do, or what I worked with. Sometimes they also want to see how good you are with a team.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if you have a
Yeah.
project where you've worked
As a
with a
team.
group or
Okay.
as a team, then that also gives them some insight into how this guy can merge well with the team they already have, or they are
Oh.
trying to start with. So you need to have like two um aspects of that kind of project in your portfolio. So it's not just personal projects you're putting on your portfolio. You need to like give them some insight into, oh, can this guy be a team player?
Well,
Yeah,
like I said earlier, I'm new to data science, or
yeah,
I have not worked anywhere before. I'm
yeah,
fresh out of college,
yeah.
so building mostly what I can build is personal project. So
Mm-hmm,
is that
mm-hmm.
also going to help me, get into the industry?
Yes, yes, you can. So it's all part of building your portfolio to show
Okay,
the track record. And the earlier you start uploading stuff,
okay.
so it won't just look like, oh, last minute, you just dumped like 5 or 6 projects at the same timeline, which is where
Ah,
GitHub comes into play because some of these people that are going to look into your GitHub account, they are quite tech savvy people,
so they can
right?
find
So
when
you
you
with GitHub, you can see the green, the light green, so it shows like how active you are on GitHub,
get. Okay,
right? So it will show from the time you started using it or uploading stuff
okay,
on it, which
okay.
is why I would always recommend GitHub anyway. So always like run stuff on GitHub, apply updates, just upload stuff from every now and then. Like make sure every week you are doing something.
Something.
So it
Okay,
shows, oh, this guy has been consistent
consistent.
with
Yeah.
building projects.
Okay.
So it's not just a one-time
One time.
thing.
Okay,
You
that
get that kind
makes,
of thing.
yeah.
So yeah.
That makes sense.
Okay.
How do you balance professional success with personal life?
Okay. So professional success. Um Funny enough, I don't really have much of that.
But you
Yeah,
you you
so
you are you are a
I'll touch
senior.
money.
You are a senior. So
Yeah,
obviously, when you started your job, you must have started like an analyst or a junior role to what you are currently, right?
yeah.
So you attaining the role of
Okay,
a senior, that's
okay,
that's a professional success. So
okay,
how do you
okay,
balance, because it would require you to put in time and all of those things, to
okay,
get to that point. So how do you
okay,
balance your time at work basically
okay,
with your personal life, which is
okay. I think the way I was looking at the question initially was like the end goal of the professional life and then my end goal of my personal life. Like
oh,
for
okay.
personal life, you might be looking to like, oh, what kind of milestones did you say, did you get a new car,
Yeah,
or did you start a new
yeah,
business? Did you do
yeah,
something for your parents, your siblings, that kind of stuff?
yeah.
Or did you celebrate a birthday? But professional, I was looking at, oh, like in a year, am I celebrating multiple things? But now that you phrased it that way, how do I balance it? So it's in a way, I would say it's kind of lumped up together.
Mm-hmm.
because for professional life, it also requires goal setting as well.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, are you looking to just remain stagnant or are you looking to grow?
Yeah.
So, if you're looking to grow, then you can't continue doing the same thing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, in terms of the professional success, yes, you have to put in the work. Um, there are times where you need to like clock on extra hours to finish a job.
Yeah.
Then finishing that was a tongue twister.
Yeah.
Finishing the project or the job before the due date
Yes.
is something that encourages whoever the stakeholder is, right? Like you've promised them, oh, this stuff will be ready by Friday, and then you go back to tell them, oh, it's done by Wednesday. Like, oh, really? Yeah, that kind of stuff. So, and if you have that over a certain period of time, like they take notice of that, and that can lead to the professional success that people get to see. So, and I
Yeah.
think that applies across different spheres of life, actually. But just professionally putting in the work and whatever the result is, I take it as it comes. But personally, like, I also have goals that I chase after, and it's
Yeah.
just by faith, really. So I think the balance between both is, I think, my faith.
Perfect. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll take that. So the next question, how do you stay relevant and continue learning in your industry? Because I know data science industry
Mm-hmm.
is growing.
Yeah.
It's ever changing. There are different things
Especially
coming
with
up.
AI.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So how do you remain relevant and how do you continue learning?
Yeah. I think you already used the keyword there, learning.
So how do you do that? Like
How do you
what?
do that? You have to keep learning. So, because of the nature of the work, there
Mhm.
will always be something that you are engaged in doing, right? So, you have to find a way to learn outside of that work period
So, yeah, so
so that
that's
you can keep up.
so now when you're at work you're doing a particular task or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. So outside of that,
Mm.
so you're saying once you are maybe back home or something, you
Yeah.
still try to study something
You
else
have to
just to.
stop that, and it also applies to life, really. Like the moment you stop learning, the
Mhm.
moment you start dying.
Yeah, true,
So,
true,
and
true.
especially with this kind of fast paced, ever evolving industry, you need to keep learning. What's the new model in town? What are the new tools in town? Though with um, whichever organization you're working with, like they might not encourage changing tools, changing all of that,
Hmm.
changing um, programming languages and all that. But just try to learn new ways to get better.
Yeah.
And especially with AI, I'll keep repeating that. Like you need to learn how to adopt the new ways of working, the new technologies um, that has to do with whatever project you're working on. But keep learning. That's the way to keep up.
Yeah, that's good. Thank you so much.
Take on certifications.
Yeah.
Yeah, take on just short term courses, YouTube videos, watch, even if it's not certification, watch stuff about, not everything has to be social
Yeah,
media,
yeah, true, true,
phone
true.
scrolling, like
Even on social media,
listen to
like
podcasts like we're doing now, you know.
even on social media, like um um what's the name? X,
Okay.
Twitter,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
There are a lot of professional information you can gain from X.
Okay.
People post a lot of professional advices or things that can help your career basically. So yeah, even
Yeah,
if you want to do social media, you could gain from that. You can learn from social medias like
yeah.
that.
The Medium. I don't know if Medium is available in Africa, all that, but here in Europe, Medium
Medium, yeah,
is a social platform where you learn about different technologies, what's
absolutely,
going on, see people's write ups.
exactly.
So just follow people, just learn something, learn something. It might not be useful on the project you're working on or
But
the
yeah,
job you're
it's a coming
in,
handy.
but it will come in handy.
Yeah, and that leads me to this question:
Okay.
what skill do you wish you had learned your career, before you started your career?
So originally, my background was in computer science with electronics,
Okay,
right? And I so much loved the electronics aspect.
you have to get handy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
where you have to like build
Stuff.
stuff,
Yeah. Hmm.
and um, it's quite different from data science itself.
Okay.
Although now there's a bit of blend between some of the um, integrated circuits and data, because all those two be reading and collecting data, and
Mm.
then now you now need data science to do something with those data. But that required building something, and it was leaning more to electrical side of engineering, even though it was electronics,
Okay.
you know. So I loved that part a lot. I was so focused on it. Um, but there was a time where they were encouraging a lot of us to go into database and networking.
Okay.
I didn't like networking at all.
But
But database itself, yeah, I gave it some, how do I put it now? Like, I tried to learn it. If I even took a certification then with Oracle,
yeah. Okay.
yeah, but I didn't take it serious.
Serious. Mm.
I didn't take it serious. I just, oh, let me just have a certification under my belt. That was why I did it. So I was so focused on electronics. So I want this electronic. I can use it to build stuff, like design things that matter. All these drones that we are seeing now,
See.
those are
Yeah.
products of electronics.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Even with 3D display. I don't know if you've seen the 3D display. The even with what's this the metal
The
lens.
glasses.
Yeah, all
Yeah.
those are all from electronics. So that was what I was leaning more into. But as the job environment will, like, just push me, found myself into data science. But yeah, if there was
The
something I
skill.
should have learned, then it should have been SQL.
The skill.
Yeah,
Ah.
if I'd put in the time, there's this saying in yeah, that if you log 10,000 hours into something, you become a master at it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if I had started way back then, I would be like a grandmaster. Now I can say I'm a master at SQL, but I'll be a grandmaster by now
Oh, do
with
you still
SQL.
have a lot of time
Yeah,
to
yeah,
be a
that's
grandmaster? So
yeah, but
practice
now your mind is divided because there's so many
different things.
opportunities.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, let me focus on this. Let me try this out. Let me try this out. But then when your attention wasn't like too divided,
Yeah.
that would have been the best time for me to like focus on that. But I didn't. I didn't take it so serious. So that's one skill I wish I'd taken seriously and I'd learned early.
That's
I'd
good.
learned early
All
because
right.
data science has a lot of backbone in SQL.
I think
Even with the fancy tools, it still has a lot. The data frames you use in Python are they are all still related to structured formats of relational database. So yeah,
thank you for that.
yeah.
Then so this question is in two parts,
Okay.
and which is the major thing why we're here, I would say, is can you share AI and a low moment
Hmm.
from your career that taught you a valuable lesson? So you need the I and the low, that's where we are.
Okay, I'll start with the low.
Okay.
I think this was 2019 also. So there was a project where they were downsizing um people at work. So
Mhm.
they were always finding any little thing
To kick you off,
to kick
kick
people
you out the
out,
door. Yeah.
you know. And the kind of project I was working on required like liaison with, we call it R&D, so research and development team. They were offshore, right?
Mhm.
So and there was something that happened. It wasn't my fault. It was based on the direction of the R&D guy. So and then long story short, it went south, and before they could blame anybody, because the heat was already starting to rise, like things were already looking messy. So I just fell on my sword.
You took the fall.
Yeah.
Mm.
So that was a low.
And
But that led to me going into the job where I found my desire
Ah,
with
okay.
data. So everything in a way kind of works together for good, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a low moment because after that I was jobless for 3 months. But fortunately, I had like what do I call it, recycling business that I was working on. So I used that period to like, build that.
Build it up.
Yeah.
Okay.
So while I was still applying, but yeah, that
Low
was a
moment.
low moment
About
in my
the I
career.
moment itself.
I think that would be when I got promoted to senior data engineer
Yeah,
anyway.
that's a very
Because that kind of um fed into my mentality that okay, I'm actually no longer a junior
yeah, you know.
again, So just having that senior attached to the role, kind of okay, he had a nice ring to it. That okay,
Yeah.
you're on pace, you're on track,
You're doing the right
you're
thing.
going up. So
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. Thank you so much. So the next thing here is if you could trade jobs for a day,
Mm.
what would that be? What would you switch to if you could trade jobs for a day? And why? Give us the reason. So if you're saying that leave your data,
Mm-hmm.
and do something else, something random,
Mm.
what would it be and why? Why would you choose it?
Mm. Probably investment banker.
I don't
I
see.
like money.
Okay.
So there's something that I've always regretted, and that was the fact that I think back in secondary school, they made it sound like science students were the ones that had it going,
Yeah, they always make it sound like that.
and the art and commercial students were just there.
True, true.
But in actual fact, is the guys that rule the world are the money guys, the guys that understand how money
How
works.
money works, yeah.
Science guys don't understand how money works.
Hmm.
Those who took accounting, commerce, back then and then went into the field of finance, accounting, banking, and all of that, they had earlier exposure to
Money,
understanding
yeah.
how money works
Mm-hmm.
and how they could use money.
The advantage, yeah.
You get.
Okay.
So what we've developed over the years is basically just trading our skill for money,
Hmm.
trading our time
I
for
never thought
money.
about it that way, to be honest.
The best technology guy you find, or IT guy, or science guy, or medical doctor, they are all trading their time that correlates with their skill for money.
Hmm.
So your time is not your own. But those in the finance sector, or those that have like that, or that business owners, they are using money to make money. They're not necessarily using their
Yeah,
skill or time. Although it takes a skill,
yeah,
to use
to
money to make
make
money.
money, yeah.
But once you get to that point, like you're able to like retire faster than someone who's in this line.
Okay, fair enough.
So
That
yeah,
makes sense.
if I had to trade, it definitely investment back in,
Fine.
just having access to work with millions
Hmm.
on a daily
See, that
basis.
millions all over.
Just like to you now, a million euro probably feel like a big deal, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but those in investment banking, it's not a big deal to them because that's what they work with every single day. They have to multiply that. They have to manage portfolios for their rich
Clients,
clients and
yeah.
all that, right? So I think just having to play around with millions at my
Mm-hmm.
fingertips, that kind of thing. I think I would really enjoy that,
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
and taking risks as
Risk.
well.
You
You
like
know,
to? Are you like a low risk taker or a high risk taker?
it depends on what kind of risk.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'm somewhere in the
In the
middle.
middle. Okay,
Yeah.
that's good. I think myself, I'm
Yeah.
not too much, not too low.
Not
Let's
yeah, just
balance it.
somewhere in the middle, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine. I know you mentioned you wanted to be investment banker, so that
Right,
leads me
right.
to this question.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine money was not an issue.
Okay.
What passion project or career or dream career would you pursue? So you have all the money now, like So
Mm.
what would you like to do?
Would you like to know? Carpentry.
Carpentry.
Yeah, carpentry.
Why
I know that
carpentry?
that's different. Like from data science, from electronics, from investment banking. But yeah, carpentry.
All the way you left all of those
Yeah,
and carpentry.
yeah.
Can you share more, more light
So
on that?
I feel with carpentry, it gives me that freedom to create,
Mm-hmm.
uh, handling something from scratch, a raw material, and
Mm.
turning it into a finished product. And it takes a very unique skill.
Yeah,
It takes very
to be
unique skill.
creative.
Exactly. You need knowledge of dimension, of design. Like with carpentry, I feel like I can explore all my intangibles,
Mm.
you know, like even in terms of organization as well, getting all the right raw materials, the tools in order to make the work faster,
Yeah,
and it won't feel like um working for someone. I'm just trying to create something.
something out of from your
Yeah, and
imagination.
there's
Yeah,
also a form of hard work
yeah,
involved because not everything is virtual. I'm
yeah,
just using
yeah.
fingers and
Fingers,
using my mind. But in this, using my mind, I'm putting some physical
physical. Yeah,
effort to it,
uh-huh. And you're
and
also doing some critical thinking because
exactly,
I know carpentry. You have to be precise. Like
yeah,
you need that accuracy.
exactly. Even with this tool, this chair,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
somebody had to build this
yeah.
and they had to like think of, oh, with this balance, with this not balance, like
True.
depending on where they put it. So yeah, and then the finished product. So I'm always looking at the end product of it. And what does the finishing look like?
Yeah,
You also want it to be appealing. You want it to look attractive, good.
attractive. Yeah, true, true,
So I'm
true.
also looking at the fin. So not just constructing it now. I then would move to what does the finished product look like? Am I polishing? Am I screening? Those like different things. Am I painting? Am I spraying?
Yeah,
Like I just and I think that was one of the first job on earth actually.
yeah, true. Because obviously, without carpentry,
Yeah,
you won't be sitting down. Yeah.
yeah. Because
Anyways,
what would that work apart from planting? I think that would be the second
second,
thing,
yeah,
if not carpentry. But I think Adam, Noah, the very first set of human beings on earth, had some work to do with carpentry. So yeah,
mm.
I've always liked that part.
That's good. That's amazing.
Yeah,
That is
and I hope
something.
I hope I would achieve that very soon.
Oh,
God
fingers
willing.
crossed. Hopefully,
Yeah, God
hopefully.
willing.
And it's nice to know that piece of information about you,
Oh yeah,
which
for sure.
it's very nice. So
Yeah.
if you could this one if you could go back and give your younger self
Yeah.
one piece of advice, what would it be?
Make good use of your time.
Hmm. Wise words. Make good use of your time.
Yeah. Remember I said, oh, I prefer movies over books.
Books, yeah.
I've invested so much time into movies. Countless hours
But
into movies.
you could watch like movies that inspire you in your career.
I've done that. But again, it's still more from a pleasurable state of mind,
Okay, fair enough.
not from something that would yield forth fruit. I don't know
But
if you get what I mean. Yeah, even if
don't
I
you think?
watch movies that would help me think, which I've done,
Mhm.
right? But that's different from investing into something that would yield forth something. Take for example, if you're learning a programming language,
Yeah,
right? You're going to use that to build something.
something. Yeah, true.
If I'm watching a movie, what am I going to use it to? What I can't trade in those hours. The only thing I can possibly do is probably just trade in like reviewing or critiquing the movies
Yeah,
for money.
fair enough.
But that's not something that I think I'm
You're
inspired to
into.
do. But
Yeah.
yeah, I would say make good use of your time.
Okay.
Invest it wisely. Whatever you feel you have a passion for, whatever you feel you have a desire for,
Hmm.
then start to invest your time in it. Like don't just allow time to pass by because time is gone
Time is
like that.
like they say, time is money.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think we are coming to the end of today's session.
Oh wow.
And okay, so I'll just ask you, what is the key takeaway you hope the audience will carry from listening to this episode?
That's a good question.
Just one advice you want to give the audience or our listeners.
Your career is you,
Mm,
and you are your career. Yeah,
mm.
that just came to me now. That could
Yes.
be my motto for 2025. So, and why do I say that? Whatever it is you want to become or you want to achieve, like you need to be passionate about it,
Mm,
and it requires some level of sacrifice.
mm.
So, which means you have to log in those hours if you're going to be a master. So, remember I said it takes 10,000 hours to become a master
Must,
at
yeah.
something. So, if your career is you and that's what you're passionate about, then you need to invest those hours into it. Don't just allow those hours go to waste. Make it count. So that's, and I know this is the first installment of this podcast, but for several guests that are going to come on this podcast to talk about their careers, listen to them and what they have to say, and um, know that you are your career and your career is you, and you need to learn what will help you in
Mm-hmm.
investing those time
The time, yeah.
wisely. So yeah, that's what I think the audience or the viewers and the listeners
Listeners.
should pay attention to. Make sure you take something away from every guest.
Anyways, thank you so much, Toby, for
It's a pleasure, man. It's
honoring
a pleasure. It's a
our
pleasure.
call today.
Yes,
And
sir.
so before you leave, finally,
Do I get a box of pizza?
anything you want.
Oh, anything. I want 50 million euros wired.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
before you leave today, just the last question, right? What is next for you, and where
hmm
can people follow your career journey or connect with you?
What is next for me? So I've been in the data engineering space for a while. I know it has kind of given me a proper perspective into the architecture behind data science.
Hmm.
So what's next for me is to go into data architecture um, itself. Um, yeah, and build something worthwhile.
That's good.
Yeah,
I'll be happy, or I'll be
yeah,
happy to see that come to life.
yeah,
And
yeah. I feel there are a lot of gaps there, even with all the so-called AIs and stuff.
mhm,
You still need mediums, So, um, I think what's next for me to build something around that space.
that's good.
Yeah, and
That's
for
good.
those looking to reach out to
Connect.
me,
Yeah.
connect, LinkedIn would be the best place. On LinkedIn, Tobi Ekundayo, you'd find me.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's fine. Thank you so much, Toby. And that is the end of today's episode. And so I will link Toby's LinkedIn on the screen, so you
yeah.
can follow or connect with Toby there. Thank you so much again, Toby, for joining us
Happy
today
to
on
be
today's
here. Happy
episode.
to
Thank you so much, guys, for joining us on today's episode. Till we see you again in the
carry
next
us talk.
episode.